You're about to hear a fact that might actually kill you. One of the deep secrets of Scientology, that according to Scientologists themselves, could result in your death if you're not ready to hear it. So welcome to the last video you'll ever watch. But before I do murder you with this forbidden knowledge, what's the deal with Scientology again?
Scientology was founded by L. Ron Hubbard, briefly a failing sci-fi writer before a stint as a failed naval commander. But in 1950, Hubbard finally found his calling.
The answer was obvious. Move on from banal, alien-focused sci-fi and write a mental book about psychotherapy called Dianetics. And when that book became extremely popular, despite being lambasted by scientists and medical professionals, Hubbard had an even better idea. Turn it into a religion.
Thus, Scientology was born, initially focused on this fringe form of psychotherapy.
Later on, Hubbard reintroduced all of the alien stuff from his terrible novels and combined it with his universally discredited psychology to form a full-on creation myth, making Scientology the go-to religion for celebrities with more money than sense. Quick reminder, we're going to get onto the death fact in a minute, so only carry on watching if you're genuinely prepared to die.
Now, the deeper beliefs and learnings of Scientologists are shrouded in mystery, partly because members have to pay huge amounts of money to climb the Scientologist ranks and access that knowledge. But we found a man that happens to be in the know. Mr. John Sweeney, investigative journalist and author of The Church of Fear, doesn't have a particularly amicable relationship with the Church of Scientology, but he does know the secret. Final warning, get ready to potentially die.
75 million years ago, a space alien Satan called Lord Xenu brought space aliens to Earth who he'd captured, and he blew them up with hydrogen bombs inside volcanoes, and the remains of those dead pesky space aliens have stuck to humanity's souls, and that is the cause of inhumanity, and only Scientology can help you go clear. Now, are you dead yet?
Now, to my surviving audience, it's fair to say that this deadly story is less science, more fiction. In fact, it's almost as if the Church of Scientology uses the word science just to validate their brand. Imagine that.
And aside from evil alien spirits, the psychotherapy stuff is also completely unscientific. The Church's process of auditing, questioning members on sensitive subjects as a form of therapy has more in common with hypnosis than any empirical forms of psychiatry.
But as silly as these alien stories and bizarre therapy techniques may be, people are, and should be, free to believe whatever they like. So what makes Scientology so sinister?
I don't think it's true to call Scientology a religion. It's not a proper religion, and the reason for this is simple. When you go into a church, a synagogue, or a mosque, they will tell you what their God is very quickly, and there's no charge. Now, Scientology isn't like that at all, and therefore, in my view, it's not a religion. I think it's a money-making cult.
And this is the central contentious issue with Scientology. It's an institution that claims to be a religion founded through science. But upon closer inspection, is it really either? Scientology is classed as a religion in the UK, as it is in the US, at least for tax purposes. However, other nations like France and Germany have refused to grant the church religious status. And it's not hard to see why. The church is shrouded in controversies, abuse of staff members, blackmail, and even church-connected murders and suicides.
They're also famous for mercilessly attacking critics, often threatening legal action, and sometimes even spying on people. Even here in the UK. These sub-rosa tactics create an atmosphere of fear around the church, making it clear that it's dangerous to say something like Scientology is a cult of lunatics and con men, just as an example.
Today, their numbers are dwindling all over the world, and only around 2,000 people self-identify as Scientologists here in the UK, despite these lavish headquarters. But the issues of categorization and legal protection of the church still loom.
And perhaps we shouldn't consider Scientology's issues in isolation. Very few religions are free of abuse scandals, and many have, historically, been extraordinarily profitable. And as for a sect of wealthy, elite members of society wielding excessive power, well, it's not exactly unusual, is it?
At this point, I'd like to conclude with an obligatory, typically journalistic platitude that brings this episode together to a nice conclusion.
But seeing as you're probably dead already, I just won't bother.